tells his 4-year-old son, I fix computers. At home, he tinkers with computers, improves his woodworking, and mostly enjoys remodeling with he and his wife. He loves his 3 incredible little children and his beautiful wife, whom he enjoys calling up to watch Lost on TV each week. Brian's father talked about Toastmasters often as he grew up, and he saw a new side of his father when he was able to see him lead a meeting. Brian joined Toastmasters to pursue the same comfort of speaking and improve his listening skills. Like I said earlier, Brian is giving his second speech, and the objectives of the speech is to have an outline, make the message clear, and support material directly contributing to the speech, and use appropriate transitions when moving from one idea to another, create a strong opening and conclusion. So here's Brian Sloan going to demo the skills for us in his second speech.
Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, we're here to celebrate, some may even say praise, the Word. The Word is powerful, evocative, influential. We can use it for good or for evil. We can use it to strong effect or to feeble effect. Just as important as how we use the Word is the meaning of the Word and when we use the Word. Words link us together. In the Talmud, or the Bible, in the book of Judges, we read the story of Samson, whose tribe, along with the rest of the Israelites, was ruled by the Philistines. Suffice it to say, Samson had a difficult relationship with them. They tricked him, he took revenge on them and destroyed their crops. They hunted him, and he slayed 1,000 of them. Finally, he fell in love with a woman named Delilah, and her rulers persuaded her to find his weakness. She bothered him for a great length of time, and finally he succumbed after misleading her several times and told her the truth. She lulled him to sleep on her lap, had his hair cut, and gave him into his enemy. They gouged his eyes out and put him to hard labor. In order to celebrate the capture of Samson and honor their gods, they summoned him to dance for them for their entertainment. He asked the boy who was leading him to put his hands on the pillars of the temple for support. And when they pushed him forward to make his performance, he called to the Lord and said, God, hear me this one time and let me have strength to take revenge on the Philistines. And heaving with all his might, he pushed the temple down, and the roof collapsed, killing all those within and all those watching from above. In his death, he killed more of his oppressors than in his life. Suffice it to say, we're fortunate that we have no Samsons among us here. Although we may want to question whether he was really just taking revenge, or perhaps he was so nervous at his first public performance that he wished the roof fell down on him. Although this is just a podium and nothing more, in the 1600s in London, England, the Globe Theatre had trapdoors in the floor and a balcony above, and the players of the time used these along with costumes and sound effects to create scenes set in the greater world about them. Now, all the world may be a stage, but you cannot bring all the world to a stage. And so Shakespeare and his contemporaries depended on the power of the word in order to invoke the imaginations of their audience, to fill in what they could not actually create on stage. In this way, acting and speaking are similar. The words that we say and how we say them are vital to influencing our audience's imagination, to communicating ideas, and communicating the very things that we want to share with others. Now, Shakespeare predated such figures as Abraham Lincoln, Groucho Marx, John Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., George Carlin and Richard Pryor, Ronald Reagan, Oprah Winfrey, Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama. But what all these figures have had in common is their ability to communicate and to use words to influence and impact those around them, sometimes for generations. They fueled the imaginations of their audience, and they inspired or entertained or educated. The words that we say are important. In 1863, when dedicating a wartime battlefield, Abraham Lincoln was preceded by a renowned speaker of the time, Edward Everett, whose extremely erudite, eloquent, 13,607-word speech took 2 to 3 hours. Now, historians tell us that at the time, speakers were accustomed to giving 3 or 4 hour speeches, if not longer. Perhaps more surprising to us is the fact that audiences not only tolerated this, they expected it. My, how our attention spans have changed. In our modern world of copy and paste, point and click, and soundbite news, we don't have the same ability or even the time to listen to such speeches anymore. Our entire meeting, in fact, will take 1/2 to 1/4 of the time of one of those speeches of that era. Now, to be fair, Lincoln had a few weeks to celebrate to prepare his speech. So we may not be able to pursue the same eloquence and the same impact, but it's interesting to note that at just over 2 minutes, his speech would have actually qualified for one of our table topics competitions. To be fair to us, we only have less than a minute to prepare. None of us expect to rival his historic oratory. However, we can expect gentle encouragement, constructive feedback, and encouragement in how to improve our speaking ability, to more effectively gesture, to use our body language, and to avoid crutch words like, In fact, this is so important to us that we've created the role of Wizard of Oz in order to count these words. Wizard of Oz? Don't think that we don't have a sense of humor here. We can expect feedback on our body language, on the content, on the believability. Our evaluators let us know whether we could go into more detail or perhaps less. They let us know how we can communicate more effectively ourselves in the future. So whether we are here because we're just curious or because we know that we want to improve our speaking ability, whether we're here because we yearn for public attention or we wish that the roof would fall on us when we have to speak, whether we're here because we strive for perfectly eloquent elocution, or we just want to get the number of crutch words we use below our golf score, we'll find something for us here at Toastmasters. We're here to enjoy the speeches of others, speeches of the people, by the people, and for the people. We're here to enjoy words. We may not have supernatural strength, but we have the strength of each other. And we hope that we'll continue to enjoy strength offered by new members and your input and the things that you have to offer us. I'll leave you with these 6 words. Welcome. We're glad you could join us.
Is Faye Slavicus. Faye is a charter member of Toastmasters and currently serves as our president. Faye is a senior paralegal with the company's legal department handling litigation and disputes. And in her spare time, Faye enjoys staying at home with her family and walking on the Silver Comet Trail. Please join me in welcoming our next evaluators, Faye Slater.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guest. Brian, love listening to you speak. You did, your opening was very powerful as your speech. You just by using the actions, you're projecting your voice, it was a very powerful opening. And Brian's speech was to organize his speech, and I felt like every speech needs a really good opening to grab the audience's attention, and I think Brian's speech did exactly that. His gestures, the use, the visual, pushing the podium as the pillars in the hall there was amazing, and it caught everyone's attention. I mean, I think we were all riveted to your speaking. I could tell you had prepared for this speech. You researched there were specific references to the amount of words in that one speech, and you could tell you had rehearsed, you had prepared for that. You also rehearsed it maybe on the time a little bit better next time. That was probably my only. I have two things probably to take away, but that was one of my main things. Maybe just because we love to hear you speak, but I wish if you could try to limit it back to the time. But that was probably my one major improvement that would be done. You were very organized. Your body of your speech flowed. I personally loved how your speech captured the essence of Toastmasters as well. And I as having put this helping the executive board put this guest day together and having the whole club make this a success, I love that both you and Vaughn used that. So that was I love that. Your speech in that aspect was very meaningful to the audience. My other takeaway that I would probably want you to work on is, I love that you move away from the podium, but maybe not turning your back so much on the people back here, and because I felt like you did go too far up, but maybe at one point, if we need to, we can always push this, if we need more room up here, we can always push this back, push the tables back and stuff, and to give you more room, if you feel like you do, we can always do that too. We can change the setup of the room, but that might be something too, but I felt maybe you turn the back a little bit too much over here. So that was my other takeaway. Otherwise, excellent job, excellent speech for a Toastmasters guest day. I look forward to hearing your speak again. I love that. As we get more into the manual, I'm looking forward to every new speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Faye. Mr. Timer, can I get 1 minute on the clock for evaluation?
No evaluation.
I'm sorry. Can I get a timer's report? I'm speaking.